What's going on, guys? It's your Chris here, and today I am here to give you another review about Pokémon Legends ZA. Now, I have spent a lot more time with the game, and I have cleared through the main story, so I feel as if my rating has a lot more weight than it did when I made my previous video, seeing as how I was only 10 hours in. So without further ado, let's get into it. My first point of action is going to be to apologize to Game Freak. Game Freak, I was not familiar with your game. I should have known, being a Pokemon fan for all these years, that y'all would cook up in the later end of the story. I should have known. Y'all cooked with the story. Y'all cooked with the character designs. Motherfucking Canary cooked. Gwyn, Libane, Corbo, Grisham. All spectacular designs, just to name a few of them. I think there are some great characters, and they look sick as hell too, and they all perfectly embody what Game Freak was really trying to go for when making these characters and having them fulfill these specific roles that Game Freak placed them in the story to fulfill. But I'll get into the story a bit more later. First, I wanted to talk about the online battling. I think the system is fun, engaging, new. They really pulled off a gamble here, introducing a new battle system and implementing it with online play right off the bat. And I've maybe put in 2 to 3 hours of online play, and I gotta say, I'm loving it. I've already gotten my Mega Greninja stone, so it really wasn't that difficult of a grind to get. You just have to do well in probably 4 to 5, maybe 6 to 7 matches, and then you hit rank K and you got your Mega Greninja stone. I understand being upset about the paywall with Nintendo Switch Online. However, I find that paywall to be inconsequential. Y'all just need to get your money up and stop bullshitting. But anyway, the battling system, I said it in my previous video and I'll say it again, it flows really smooth, and I've had so much fun trying out new things, new combos, playing around with arena traps, status effects, and all that. And with online battling, just knowing your type matchups so well that it's ingrained into your head and you don't even need to think about them. Being mindful of your positioning and being able to properly time your switches and combos and your when to mega evolve your Pokemon to avoid damage. It's all very well thought out, and it's clear that they did put a lot of attention into the inner workings of this battle system. With the system, it really does feel like you're in the anime. It really feels like, you're Ash Ketchum telling Pikachu, yo, dodge that shit, bro. And motherfuckers will dodge it. It really is, this battle system really is a dream come true for child me. Now, a dream come true for present day me would be Libane pinning me into submission with a chokehold. Oh my goodness, Libane is so fine. Probably the baddest bitch I've seen in Pokemon. From the hair color to the tallness of her, I love me some my tall women, to her whole demeanor, her being a battle-hungry warmonger that's forced into this disgruntled maid role because she lost a fight to Miss Uppity is, quite frankly, it's hilarious to me, and I think Game Freak did really well with not only Libane's character, but so many of the other characters that we had the pleasure of meeting in Legends ZA. Now, I find myself, like Libane, not being able to deal with Jacinth that well. I think her character is annoying, and I understand that is the point of her character. So, to that end, Game Freak did really well with her. But I just have a hard time clicking the A button through her dialogue whenever she's on screen. Yeah. As for other characters like Canary, Gwyn, Corbo, Grisham, very well done. With Canary, you got the whole electric type streamer format for the second game in a row. And when she was first introduced, I was worried that she would just be a carbon copy of Iono from Scarlet and Violet. But I really think they did a better job here of, not a better job, but they did a good job of making her her own character with the relationship that she had with Gwen and the relationship that she had with her grandpa Tarragon. And also the depiction of her fans that weren't the construction workers, the fat motherfuckers, those motherfuckers were hilarious, bro. The black-haired one that we went against in the quiz competition looked exactly like one of my homeboys and talked exactly like one of my homeboys, and that shit had me dying when I first encountered him. So I think they did a really good job differentiating Canary and her fan base from Iono, because Iono didn't really have a fan base that was depicted in Scarlet and Violet. So I think, once again, I think Game Freak did really well differentiating between the two electric type streamer girls. With Gwen, I really like her design with the whole Mega Chandelure hat. It was really cool seeing all these characters with their designs and realizing that their designs correlated with what Pokemon that they had a Mega Evolution for. So seeing Homegirl pull up with a Chandelure hat had me really excited, seeing that I didn't have any of the Megas spoiled for me going into the game. So it was a cool touch for those of us with an ounce of observation to go through and try and guess what Pokemon these characters would have as their ace and their Mega Evolution partner. And with Gwen's introduction, I felt really bad because Homegirl just wanted to be left alone, and we went and exposed her only hiding spot. So just, you hate to see it. But I think Gwen's a good character. Now with Corbo, the story really picks up when this guy makes his appearance. Corbo, he is one sick motherfucker, and I mean that with all respect. I love this guy. I think his design is sick. I think what he stands for is sick. Really funny seeing the Rust Syndicate turn into a comically good mafia type of organization. The absence of an evil team, I thought it would really hamper my enjoyment of the game, but I think they did well making the Rogue Mega Evolution the main threat, as well as the final boss battle with the fucking tower. But I'll get into that a little bit more later on. For now, I want to talk about Team Flare Novo. While their involvement in the story was very limited, they sure as hell left their mark, bringing in the whole philosophical aspect into the story. Getting to see Lysander Labs reimagined was very cool, very nostalgia feeding, and the area was just very well done, I feel, especially given the context of the story. So super fun area to go through, super well done. Now, I've been hyping it up a lot, hyping up the game a lot. I'm gonna need to air some shit out real quick. Team MZ, Tawny, you a bitch for what you did in the final mission. We had that fight to determine who would use Mega Floette. I won that shit, and you still want to use it? Fucking crybaby ass bitch. Wah, wah, wah. I do not want to hear it. Naveen, you're a bitch. I don't like you. I don't like your condescending attitude. The only person you're nice to is Canary, streamer girl that you didn't meet. I met her, and I cracked. You did not, and you still blazing the hell out of her. How are you going to be nice to streamer girl that don't even know you, and not your friends who are helping you through life and death situations? The only time this motherfucker was grateful was when I gave him a fucking Gooner plushie that he's gonna goon to of his Gooner girl streamer. Sure, that shit was signed, but still, we're your boys and girls. We're your homies. How you gonna like the streamer more than your homies? And Lita, I don't like what you did with the Rust Syndicate, forcing me into accepting that deal, but it ended up being okay. So all is well that ends well. Lita, you're the only one I really fuck with out of the team. And since it's fresh on my mind, the final mission was so cool. Very well executed. Getting to fight with all the friends that you made along the way really just gives you that Shonen Jump, what Pokemon is about experience. Fighting through waves of rogue mega Pokemon. Battling arm in arm with your comrades that you have made with your strength and charisma. Now, I know that 3/4 of the budget went into that last cutscene, and it delivered. That shit was awesome. Zygarde's involvement in the whole story, being this guardian dog for the city, and allowing us to wield his power at the end of it, was very cool. And of course, Zygarde gets a Mega Evolution, which, if you guys watched my wish list, is one thing that I wished did not happen, but I knew was probably going to happen, given the nature of the game. Obviously. Duh. With that being said, Mega Zygarde is a powerhouse and should never, ever see the light of day that is online battling. Keep that guy away from competitive Pokemon. He is too strong. That Nihil Light, the motherfucker got a fucking nuke at his disposal. We do not want to see that hit competitive Pokemon. That shit's probably going to be like a tactical nuke in COD. Get your ass 30 kills in a row in the ZA Battle Royale and you just drop a Nihil Light on the entire map and take everybody's prize medals. That shit would be hilarious, but ridiculous. I don't want to see it. Now, in my first review video, I did have a few complaints with the game. I feel as if they're valid, but I've also been seeing a lot of invalid complaints, such as the windows. I went on my rant about the windows in my first review video. Check it out if you want to. But y'all motherfuckers need to stop buying Pokemon games and expecting them to be other games. Pokemon's been doing this shit for damn near 30 years now, and I still see people complaining about no voice acting. When have we ever had voice acting in a mainline series Pokemon game? The closest we're gonna get is with the Legend series here, hearing our trainer grunt on occasion when falling from a high place or rolling. We're not going to be getting voice acting because that is just not what the Pokemon series is about. Pokemon is about turn-based battling with pet-like creatures, or in this case, it's a roaming battle system in the Legends series. Like, the actual battling is optimized just fine. The story is there, and I don't see what there is to complain about not Pokemon shit. It's like complaining about getting dicked down on a grinder date. You signed up for it by going on a grinder date. You should know that if you're going on a grinder date, then you are gonna be potentially engaging in intercourse with a man as another man. Like with Pokemon, you know what you are getting when you are buying the game. I'm sick of these 30-year-olds complaining about the new Pokemon games not being as good as the old ones. Y'all motherfuckers are blinded by nostalgia. Old ass unks blinded by nostalgia because they are not as happy as they were as a child. They haven't succeeded in life, so they try to go back to Pokemon, wanting it to give that same kick, that same dopamine hit that it gave them when they were playing it for the first time on their Game Boy or their DS back in the late 90s, early 2000s, but you're just not going to get that. You as a person have changed. The Pokemon series has not changed. So no wonder you guys are complaining about random bullshit that Pokemon shouldn't have to worry about. Y'all old ass motherfuckers are blinded by nostalgia. And it's really sad to see as someone who has realized that's what's going on. I grieve for you, I weep for you, because I really wish your life was better than what it was. But you're either too dumb or too old or both to realize that you've fallen victim to nostalgia blinding. Now, I will say my one new gripe with the game is not being able to choose what my rank A wish was. You know, the wish that they promised us for hitting rank A in the ZA Royale. Now, I was expecting not to be able to wish for something, so I'm not going to let it ruin my entire enjoyment of the game because I'm not a sad sack of shit who's blinded by nostalgia. But if I was able to wish for anything with my rank A wish, I would wish for Quasartico to be paying for everything. I would never have to pay for anything in Legends ZA again. I'd be getting all their Mega Stones that they're offering in the store for free. I wouldn't have to pay a single Pokédollar for any vitamins in the Pokemon Center. I'd have max full restores. I'd have max Ultra Balls, Pokeballs, Great Balls. It would be beautiful. But alas, I don't get what I want. But I'm not going to let it ruin my enjoyment of the game. With my wish as well, I would wish for Lebanne to be stripped away from Jacinth and be by my side for the rest of my playthrough in ZA. I know my playthrough is done, but I still want her by my side. I want to be wedded to her. She is a beautiful woman, and I love her very much. If you didn't catch on by now, my type of woman is a tall, strong woman. I want to be dominated. I want to be abused. Maybe not abused. I would rather be loved. And I would want her to whisper sweet nothings into my ear as she chokes me out and makes me pass out. Before I lose the plot too much, I do want to say I really did enjoy this game. I would say just about as much, if not the same amount, as Legends Arceus. So, in my first review, I gave it a 5.5 to a 6 out of 10. Overall, now that I've played through the story and the story picked up and they did a bunch of things right, I'm leaning towards giving this game an 8.5 out of 10. I really do think it is the best game that they have put out on the Switch line of consoles. I know that this is the first one on the Switch 2, and I played it entirely on the Switch 2. Regardless, you understand my point. I think it's the best open world 3D game that they have done. So, with that being said, I think I've talked enough. If you made it this far, I really appreciate your time. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed, please feel free to hit that like and subscribe button and let me know what you guys think of Legends ZA. Have you been enjoying it? Do you dislike it? Whatever. Let me know in the comments. Now please, throw some racks or real ones way so I can keep making these videos for you. And I'll catch you next time. Jacrispier, out.